exactly how much she made. He said that she was really competitive and she liked to try to keep up with him. He's like, she gets close sometimes. So I don't know how much those two brought in. I mean, off the top of my head, if I could call the kids yet. But he told me, he's like, Colorado's a 50-50 state and she's okay with everything 50-50. Like, he said that she was like on board with this because she wanted it too. Like, she was checked out of this relationship. So that was like how he made this sound. That it was like a very like kosher, we're done kind of thing.
Did you ever give him like save your marriage? You know, there's also
time to read some articles about what separation does to kids. You know, and I told him, I said, when my parents separated, we were literally like 3 and 5. We were almost the exact same age as these little girls. And I told him, I said, you know, I was so young when it happened that it didn't really have like a big negative effect on me because I was so small that I didn't really process it too well. I was like, but I do have cousins that their parents got divorced when they were like 10, 11, and I think that it hit them a little harder, you know, and he's like, oh, they'll be fine, you know, and I told him, I was like, even though they're small and you think that they'll be fine, I was like, I think you guys should just read about it just so that you guys are prepared in case, you know, one of these two starts having a hard time with the fact that you guys aren't in the same house anymore. You know, and I would tell him, I was like, you know, there's pros and cons to it, like, because he was, like, getting ready to do it, and it would be like, you know, it's kind of cool having 2 Christmases, and, you know, like, your parents get to go, you know, be happy doing whatever it is they want to do with their lives, and they don't have to be in a situation that's probably not good for the kids because it's not good for those two, you know, but at the same time, it was like, just read. Like, that's what I always used to tell him. I'd always tell him to, like, I tell people to read about everything. Reading is so good for you.
So he, at this time, is telling you that, yeah, I am the guy trying to save the marriage and she doesn't want it.
That's what he told me. So, and and then he was like, she doesn't want it, so I'm not going to do it.
This was going to happen sooner rather than later, like you said.
You know, if I was to reflect on anything over, like, the past few weeks, besides, like, the stuff the last few days where you're like, hey, is there, like, any red flags? I would say, like, no. But one thing I did notice one time is all were like marked down stuff, and I pieced it together in a way like, it's pretty, huh? It's a pretty house, but you would never guess that like everything I got is like super discount. And one day we were sitting on my couch, and we were just like bullshitting about some stuff, and I was telling him like, oh yeah, you know, like I got this marked down in American Furniture because like the corner was dented, and like I got this one off a guy on Craigslist. And I put it all, and I was like telling him, I was like, I put it all together, and I was like, to me, it was like, material things don't make a home. I was like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was like, it's not about what it looks like. I was like, it's about what you, like, bring to it, like, mentally. And he, like, collapsed in my lap and gave me, like, the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there, and he was just like, you are so different. Just like dropped into my arms, relief, and it might have been bigger. I think her spending all that money and not listening to him, and him not standing up for himself in a...
3 questions regarding something else, and then I think maybe Tim has a few questions for you. But I think what you say about the finances directly at his root.
The man on the right and the man on the left, their faces are normal, but hers is not.
Do you think that goes to the children as well? Because she took, did she treat them like that, like they were gold and they got everything as well that you know of? Or do you think there's a separate issue for why he may have done what he did to his children other than financial?
That part, I don't have an answer for. I can't fucking explain that. I don't even think there is an answer. I don't even think there's any sort of, like, computing up here that could possibly give a rational explanation for why that would have happened. I mean, the only thing that I've honestly thought of when I play this scenario...
Her fingers are continuously long and short. Definitely an alien.
Over my head is that maybe they woke up and saw him doing it in their mom. Was like, fuck. Now I gotta do this too. I don't know. I'm like, why? Because they were like his like little lifeline. You know, he that was everything to him. You know, and I get like those two have problems.
But he had a great relationship, but from what you're accounting is
With his
he
kids?
loved his children.
Yeah, like I'm.
Looked at by attorneys. So there is not them ever getting her name. It is going to be there at some point.
She now has 3 fingers, if you notice.
And I don't know, I understand your fear, and that's why I told you that if anybody, I don't care if somebody calls you and says, you know, anything minor, you call me and let me know, please. I will not stand for that.
Well,
Okay.
I'm having.
So it would be the news people would only be the.
Now look how long her thumb is, along with her index finger. And she had 3 fingers and a thumb.
Ones that, and of course, they already know what to.
God, work is gonna be such a mess too. That's gonna be like a whole nother level. Like everybody at my work, I heard was so like just damaged and broken today, and then it's like let's just add Nikki into this whole mix.